Let me hear that back. Let me hear that back. So, new life.
Hey, welcome to In the Lab with your girl. I am Erica, your intrinsic consultant. Before we begin, we got new merch. You see that? Ain't playing around. Welcome to In the Lab, which is an adult STEM science show that shows the effects of adulting on adults. All right, so today we are learning about accountability and what that looks like in the workplace. So many of us go to work every single day and we do our role, and when things go wrong, sometimes it's not our fault, but sometimes it is. I am going to show you exactly what accountability looks like through science. Here are some of the items that you are going to need if you want to do this project for yourself. You're going to need 2 AA batteries, a tea light, a battery powered tea light, a little something like this, 2 jars, salt, water. You're also going to need 2 paper clips or safety pins. I'm going to use safety pins. And lastly, you're going to need either masking tape or electrical tape. There will be some cutting and some taping. Also, we have our SkyCam here. Let's get started. We're going to take our 2 jars. The last time we worked with glass jars, it didn't go that well. We have 2 AA batteries, and what you want to do is you want to connect these batteries. Positive end is that, the negative end is this, and you want to take them and link them up. You want to link them together as such. Okay, you're probably going to need some scissors for this as well, so add scissors to the things you will need. I'm going to take this electrical tape, cut just a piece to tape my batteries. Now guys, always remember, this is my first time doing these experiments, so if they don't work and somebody lied, I'm just gonna, okay. So we're rolling, we're getting our batteries. All right, we have 1 consistent battery here. All right, so if you didn't catch that, make sure you rewind and watch me do it in slow motion. Safety pins here. I'm going to open my safety pins and I'm gonna kind of stretch mine out so I can get optimal reach. So I'm just stretching them out like that. Pretty simple, right? How do I connect to the positive end of the battery? I'm gonna still use tape. Hopefully tape will work. Small slither of electrical tape. I'm gonna take 2 pieces. Tape the ends to the positive side of the battery. I'm gonna stick that on there like that. I hope you guys can see with all this black. Attach that to the positive end of the battery and just, I don't like electrical tape. I think that it doesn't really do its job. We'll see today, huh? And then I'm going to take the other end and do the same side to the negative side of the battery. So far, this is what I'm working with. Oh Lord, we're in there. This is what we're working with. It kind of looked like a little robot. So let's just do a quick recap. 2 batteries, electrical tape to glue the positive and the negative end. We took 2 safety pins, and we have added them. Again, 2 batteries made with masking tape. We have some safety pins on the end, and cool. So here is where you need your tea light. Here's our tea light. I have 2. You're gonna have to do this on your own. I can't do it for you, but trust me. So here's my tea light, something that I got for Valentine's Day, never threw it away, thought it was really cute, for that special someone, you know what I'm saying? What I did last night that caused me to injure my thumb, which is why you want to be very careful. So I opened the light apart, and inside of that is, your battery. Inside is your battery, and you will have a light that's inside. That is what gives it its glow. You want to take that light out. When you take it out, be sure not to get rid of the wires. Failed expectation creates frustration. Or I've said it the opposite way, where I've said frustration comes from failed expectations. So we have no expectations because we don't want to feel frustration. So that's what we went for. All right. Thomas Edison in this, okay? 2 batteries, electrical tape. The batteries are connected from the negative to the positive right here in the middle. This is our positive end over here. We took a safety pin right here and on this end. They're both connected. Now we have our LED, which is from our tea light, right? And then we took the light out and we put the positive end, which is the longer part of the LED, connected it to the positive end of the battery, and we took the negative end of this LED and connected to the negative side. It's all gonna make sense. It's all gonna make sense. Okay, we did this wrong. All right, y'all. Now, we have been working on this battery thing. I've taken 2 intermissions to get this right, just for y'all. Here's what we got. And I hope that this works. It does. Thank you, Jesus. So we have our 2 batteries. They're connected with electrical tape. 1 positive to 1 negative. This is the negative side. If you are doing this, be careful. I burnt, I don't know. That this battery is crazy. Positive side. Now this positive side is going to go into water, okay? But we're doing a test just to see if our current is working. And hold on. Make sure your negative is there, but we have power. Here are 2 jars. I filled both of these with water. One of them will be fresh. This is fresh water. One of them will be salty. Take your salt and add in quite a lot. I'm not measuring. As you can see, the salt is salting. Spoon, all right? You want to stir this salt up. So we're stirring our salt water. Again, this is fresh water. So fresh water, salt water. We want to place our ends into the water. Do not put your battery in the water. Do not put your battery in the water. I don't know how this is going to react. So we got 1 end in. We got 2 ends in. There's no reaction. Now it says to add both ends to the salt water. Okay, y'all see that? Y'all see that? Now let's give it a stir. I'm actually gonna stir this up. It said do it by stirring. All right, so we got something. We need a good, ow. All right, y'all, I told y'all to be careful. Y'all see that? See that little light? We got action, y'all. You just gotta make sure your wires are in there really good. But you see that light? Y'all see that? Let's try it on the other end now. Nothing happens. Same light, same amount of water. There we go, way better. Why does the light react in the salt water? In fact, if I even put my finger in here, it reacts more. That's even crazier. I can actually feel what I believe is occurring. So let's talk about this. What does all this mean and how does this relate to accountability? The reason that this did not work in the pure water is not a conductor, it's an insulator. The molecules are neutral. If there is no charged particles, there is no change. There is no change in the flow. So basically, we didn't do anything but stick 2 wires in the water. Let's talk about our main squeeze here, which is our salt water. Now, we all know that salt is actually sodium chloride, which is NaCl. That's the one element I learned. When you have salt water, it produces electrolytes. So that's actually why it's pretty cool to have salt water. They add salt to Gatorade. It makes electrolytes. And as you can see, this light is working. inside of the salt. So the positive ions are actually attracted to the negative electrodes, and the negatives are actually attracted to the positive electrodes. What's happening in this water is attracting to the batteries in the positive and the negative. Because there is movement in this glass, right? We stirred it, remember? Because there is movement and the sodium is reacting to the currents of the wires, we get the light as bright as we get it. So remember, our fresh water here, right? We don't get anything because nothing's happening. But in this, we're getting light. See the difference? I mean, and granted, there's actually a little bit of light in there, but we get way more when we get here. All right? These two glasses are actually the same thing, right? They have the same amount of water. The only difference is one of them has an additional aspect of sodium chloride, which is salt. This represents here a team with no trust. You work with people that you can't even trust. Everybody comes to do their job and their job alone. There is relationships with no follow through. So when no accountability is taken, nothing happens. If you don't take accountability, nothing changes. The salt is your accountability. So when there is accountability in the workplace, things shift, things happen. Accountability is trust. Accountability is showing up even when you don't want to. Accountability is saying, I got your back to your team, is meaning what you say. Without salt, you're just sitting here. There is no energy in that. But when you have salt, when you have accountability, things can shift. The circuit completes and the light turns on. You are the salt in your team. You are the salt in your team, in your family, in your relationships. So here's the thing. This is a question for you to ask yourself. Am I helping the flow or am I preventing the flow? Am I doing something about what's happening, or am I just chilling and watching it happen? If you're the one in the water, if you're trying to light up and nothing is happening, add some accountability. You are the salt. You are the salt. You are the salt. All right, this has been a new experiment and we passed this experiment. It actually worked. I've never done anything like this before. So to see it with my own eyes and to construct it with my own self, I am so proud of myself. That is a win for In the Lab. We are now 2-2. Well, actually, we are 3-1 of experiments. Okay, I did 4 experiments and 3 of them have worked. Check us out for another new episode of In the Lab next week, where we'll be learning about something else. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in. We're out of here.